Do you remember when we were kids? We would go because we traveled and worked a lot. We'd go to like hotel gyms all the time because we were.
I've done over
gypsies.
1,000.
And
No,
there
you
were the intimidators. Do you remember the intimidators?
Yes.
Joe was
Yes.
it was really funny because you always have
Yes.
those certain guys that would walk in and they'd always be like flexing and puffing out as much as they can when they're walking around.
I'm gonna go light today. I'm gonna use the
Yeah.
75s.
A lot of it's just all ego fitness.
Exactly.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
as a 66-year-old, sure, there's a little bit of ego involved. But
Well-
for me, it's quality of life and longevity,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
want to ski hard when I come down a mountain, and I want to compete with you and other youngsters. I'm
compete.
always the oldest guy in my workouts.
Bro, you're kicking
right?
butt.
So
You're
you
setting the
guys are-
bar. You're not competing.
Not only did you
you're
keep up
setting
with
the
us, you
bar.
you set the pace for us. Hey, listen, you guys want to take this over to the side?
Let's go.
Go in the closet. Take it in the closet.
Let's go in the closet, man.
Andy, you and me in
Keep
the
it
closet.
in the closet.
The funny thing is, we've been.
Remember that Michael Jackson song?
That was a
Great
great,
song.
By the
great
way,
song.
can I just say, I fucking love this right here. I wish I had this. I have two younger sisters. One I talk to twice a year. The other one I'm pretty close to. But otherwise,
meet
when
your
I was
sister?
growing up, it was just
Oh, no, it's this.
watching Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd by myself in the house,
Woody Dad, I did.
waiting for my friends
Right,
to call
Jack.
me up.
What's up, Dad?
Yeah.
So,
Oh, no,
This is
not in
my-
our house.
No, this is my life, bro.
No.
It's wonderful.
I know. This is it.
It's wonderful.
Didn't I meet your sister?
Did you meet Kit? Maybe
Which
I don't
sister?
know.
Who did I meet? Didn't I meet sister?
Mary Beth.
Mary Beth.
Who's the one I see kind
Yes.
of twice a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
wow.
Did she come in town or where's she
She
from?
was in town. They were at a wedding.
Oh, okay.
Remember Luke and Laura from General Hospital?
Yes.
Okay.
The girl who played Laura is my brother-in-law's cousin.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they came
my
to town.
brother-in-law's second cousin who was remarried to his...
to my
And you went to this
nephew's
wedding?
sister.
Why did you go to this wedding? This is basically a stranger.
So you know Momo, my good
Jeannie
friend
Francis.
Momo.
Her name is Jeannie Francis.
Yes.
She's been on that
Hey.
show forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
First of all, the Luke and Laura, I mean,
Yeah.
I remember as a kid,
Yeah.
the Luke and Laura storyline was like, it captivated
the
the
show.
country.
Yes.
Really?
That
Yes.
in Dallas.
Yes.
Oh,
It was like,
I
who
know.
shot
Yeah,
JR
yes.
and Luke and Laura's wedding
Right.
basically controlled the 80s. It was millions and millions and
Wow.
millions and millions of people. Do you know that 80 million people, I don't know why I know this fact, I just
Wow.
saw it on IG.
Wow.
80 million people tuned in to watch the
Luke-
Dallas finale.
What?
Yes.
So more than the Jake Paul Tyson fight because that was 60 million.
Yeah,
Wow.
way more.
Also, Luke and Laura's wedding
Was basically that
so,
big.
her father was my first acting coach at the Debbie Reynolds Dance Studio in Burbank. And the only
Debbie
reason why
Reynolds.
I-
Dance
I trained there
studio.
several
What?
times.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yes, I did. I literally trained there all the time with my tap teachers, Gene Castle.
Oh, yeah.
Debbie Reynolds studio.
Oh, yeah, I
in Red
remember,
Ready. Yeah,
dude.
remember? Yeah.
Wow.
Great times. Great times. Debbie
Is
Reynolds.
that the one over there in like
all the wood, old school.
old school studio
Yeah.
over there
Yep.
and like
over by the bowling alley.
you know what's really
What
crazy?
bowling alley?
So by,
You know what's crazy? I had
yeah,
That's
so
where
I
learned
had
ice
some
skate.
kind of audition there not that long ago, like maybe 4 years ago, and it has changed. Let me tell you guys.
really?
Yeah,
Not the same.
there are prostitutes outside of there.
What? What?
I swear.
Actually, it's Debbie Reynolds.
Yeah, man, it's always been.
No,
there's always
no,
been
it's
prostitutes.
not. No,
Yeah.
no. I mean,
She's
I'm
now-
pulling out of there, and
What?
a girl waves me over
What?
in this skimpy little thing, and I'm like,
What?
I thought you needed directions or something.
Man,
Young actress looking for some advice.
Were you in a white Maserati?
No, I was in my beat
I'll
up
get
pickup truck.
over you.
No.
I know I will.
He was in a pink Cadillac.
my ship's not
Singing.
By the way,
no
this is the
voice.
same thing that
Zero.
happened in the workouts.
Yes.
Like, I'm trying to get a workout in, and you guys break into song
true.
and dance.
I know.
That's true.
And I'm just hanging out.
How much fun do we have on the workouts, though?
Dude, so much fun.
All right, well, hold on real quick. Everybody, welcome to the Brotherly Love Podcast. We have a very special returning guest.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, my brother, Tony Horton, everybody.
Horton. We very
Ladies
rarely
and
have people
gentlemen.
back.
The legend, the
Very
legend,
rarely.
the legend, the legend, the legend. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, everybody.
repeat the
No, we have a
Legend.
special reason.
Yeah, we do.
For
Do
this.
I even know what that is?
Well, you don't because we bamboozled you, but
I love being
it's,
bamboozled.
it's because we are
Coming
We took
out-
it to the next step.
We took it to
guys.
the next level.
coming the first
the first of what?
That was a great
Of-
great
The
job
first could
of
mean
plugging
anything.
it
The
in.
first of what?
2025.
Right.
So
January
January
1st, 2025. Lawrence Brothers are doing a little workout routine with
Yes.
the legend.
Wow.
Woo!
Very
We,
cool.
Teamed up, combined forces.
and it's called
Lawrence Power.
It
I love
is,
it.
because that's what it is.
I love it.
Well, it's your power, and we're just there along for the ride.
We're the Lawrences,
We're the Lawrence
and
and
it's
you're the
Tony's
Power.
power.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
But
Like it.
we were really honored because
Yeah,
honestly,
super
like,
honored.
It kind of started out where we were just going to do a program, and then we just said
Well, no, it
hold on.
started out way before that.
Breaks,
hold on, wait.
time out. Wait,
I'm
no.
truncating.
Let me wait.
we
Time
couldn't
out.
do it without you.
Truncated
Time
good,
out.
Joe.
I'm taking
The
over.
terrible truncation
Mike,
on that
Mike,
one.
check out. Hold on.
Rough on
Check
you,
it.
man.
They are.
Yeah,
We have to
I knew
be.
where you were going. I was okay with it.
Oh.
All right.
Sorry,
Wait, go ahead. I want to know.
Joe,
Sure, bore
hold
everybody.
on.
Go
Just
ahead.
a real recap. A quick
self-fulfilling story.
recap.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, this is going to be great. We just lost half the listeners.
No, don't worry about it.
Recap. I'm going to get a coffee
Okay,
and some popcorn. I'll come back.
basically, in
Once they
1997. No, I'm
Oh,
just
here we
kidding.
go.
We'll start with. We'll just say that we all know Tony obviously from back in the day.
It
P90X.
started.
Woo!
P90X. Right.
back.
Joe and I and Matt.
2006.
2006. All did P90X.
We did.
So much younger than.
Well, actually, if you want to go back to that, it
we're
was
also
Joe.
showing
It was Joe.
And then it was Joe and Matt. And then it was Joe,
Matt, and Andy.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And we were all
Yep.
getting in good shape.
We rolled Andy in the first
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Literally rolled
with
him
his
in.
with his bagels.
These guys.
Hey
Yeah,
man,
you
what
wonder.
am I gonna do? You gonna work out? What?
It looks like Andy had slept in 3 bagels.
Yeah.
So he just rolled him right into the
I don't know what you're
workout.
talking
Come back
about.
with his triple XL black hoodie, and these sideburns. And he's like, "What am I gonna do here? You're gonna sweat and work out."
Do you remember Elvis in the late 70s?
Yeah.
I kind of
whole lot of loving.
Elvis's last concert. That was Andy.
That was Andy's first go-around.
You sweat walking in. You broke into a sweat just walking into the gym.
absolutely ridiculous.
That's so true.
Yeah, but look at him now.
Oh, he is a beast.
Now-
Look at the
He is a
boy
beast.
now.
Fast forward one
And by
year
the way,
later.
I don't want to get too far in the weeds, but I saw him do that ninja program. He finally did it. He crushed it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Finally.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bear.
It
Oh
is.
my
It
God.
Salmon
is.
ladder to start. Like let me leave
Woo.
the earth and land on a thing and go
I
up
know.
and then make my way through and all the way back. And I don't know, 50 something weeks.
52.
You know what I mean? He fell and he fell and he fell and he just kept coming. And then week before last, he got all the way through it and it was a glorious moment.
It just
It
goes to
was.
show you that
Really
it
was.
really goes to show you that that the human experience is really just perseverance. That's really what it
Bingo.
is.
Yep.
I mean, that's it.
That's it.
It's like you can almost do anything, and no matter what happens, you can get through anything, and you just persevere.
How
That's
bad
it.
do you want it?
That's it.
I mean, how bad do you
That's
want
it.
it?
That's
You
it,
know what I
man.
mean? And the cool thing is knowing that the failure part
Yeah,
is just a little lesson along the way before you become a rock star.
that's right.
So
You know
true.
what I mean? I mean, I'm the procrastinator with a speech impediment who's lazy, who doesn't want to do anything. And I finally, pulled my head out of my butt and went, well, this part of my life sucks. I better, start.
And you can always learn new things too. And I find myself I literally find myself learning so many things at 48. Really about
Yeah.
myself,
Yeah.
about life,
Yeah.
about what's important, about how to move through things, and it's just awesome. It's awesome.
Well, I
It
mean,
really is
P90X, I was in my 40s when I did that. That's
Isn't that amazing?
46,
Wow.
So, yeah.
You're essentially my age. Essentially, I mean, I'm 48, so I got a couple years on you.
Yeah. You have a bright future, I'm telling you.
Bright future, man.
Based on what I went through.
That's it.
But getting back to your program.
Oh, yeah, so-
Did you want to?
Yeah, thank you very much, Tony. Thank you.
Tony brings it back.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Well, anyway, we loved Tony for years, and he was a big inspiration. And then we started this podcast, and Tony came on the podcast, which was such a pleasure. What
Yeah, like
what an
early
honor.
on. That was
early
like in
on,
the first, maybe?
the first 50 episodes you came.
Oh,
on,
at least.
yeah.
No, I'm talking about maybe the first
12,
15?
20.
15,
Yeah, it was
20,
yeah.
awesome. It was awesome.
Fun day, man.
And it was life changing for me specifically. You invited us to a workout, Horton's House of Horrors.
As we
Yes.
called it.
And we showed up, and then you couldn't shake me. Then I've been there since.
Andy's been a
I've been camping
So that-
an
outside.
amoeba that
So
decided
that
to camp out a
then
barnacle on your boat.
That kind of rolled into, hey, maybe there's an opportunity for us to
Oh,
do.
so thank you very
a
much.
workout
yeah,
program.
Well, so I always thought Joe should do a workout program
It's
because
true,
he's
yeah.
always been in very good shape,
Always.
and never I've never not known him.
Maybe 14. You were
14,
you were a little
yeah.
pudgy, but that's
Well, I
kind
hadn't
of
gotten in shape.
You're a little pudgy there.
Because you were young. You
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yep.
Pudgy Joe.
But by 16, it was important.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got the memo early.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you
that's
did.
why you've stuck with it for so long.
Yeah.
Because it was part of your youth. A lot of people like the stories we told earlier that are starting to figure this out in their 40s and 50s, like the guy you were talking about before, and they've made that transition late in life. That's rare, man. That's
Yeah.
special.
It is special. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, I adopted it because I couldn't play sports really because I was working.
Right.
So I needed to do something with my mind, like something like physical. So I adopted working out. That's what I did because it was safe, and the studios would let me do it because they wouldn't sign a waiver for me to play like baseball anymore, or football anymore, or anything. Because if I broke a bone, I'd be out of production, and so they wouldn't do it. It was like an insurance thing.
And that was the back in the day. They're much more lenient now.
Actually, I don't
they
think
don't
care at all.
really even care.
They don't care at all.
But back in the day, if you were on a show or a movie, forget about skiing.
No
Yeah,
skiing.
Right.
yeah.
None of it,
You had to
man.
sign a
You
You
were
were
waiver.
around a golf.
Maybe, you were
Yeah.
breaking
Dude,
contracts
so
literally if you did anything physical.
Just a quick sidebar. I remember that was for years and years and years, and then I was on Hawaii 5-0, and I loved to surf. And one day I went out to surf, and I had to work later that afternoon. But it was like a routine. Like I didn't think it was a big deal, you know.
and that shark.
And the shark took my leg.
Oh no, not to joke about.
That's terrible. I'm just kidding.
People do
I
lose
know,
their
I
legs
know,
to
it's
sharks.
terrible. No, I
guys
was
are the
surfing.
worst.
I was surfing.
And then it pans
you lost
out.
your leg, loser.
Yeah,
I mean, what
pans out.
the
There's
hell?
a listener there.
Who
said that?
Guess leg day's gonna suck for you now.
I mean, what a horrible. You guys are just so.
That's
just,
ridiculous.
Really
I
is
didn't
just
say
leg day.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Just one leg.
It's
day.
leg day.
Well, you know,
Oh, we're going down a rabbit hole.
you know when they tell you to skip leg day.
Oh God.
You're really gonna skip leg day.
Jesus, you guys are absolutely the
yeah.
worst.
The worst.
Boy.
Anyway, that's terrible.
Snippy that out.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Actually, you know what? I didn't say it, so leave it in.
No. Can I digressed, man. You got me a sign. Anyway, so I was surfing, board popped up and just like clocked me out.
Wow.
I saw stars, dude,
Yeah.
and I couldn't really talk. I was like talking like this, a chipped up tooth, and
I
my
remember
face
that.
swelled
Yeah, I
up, and I
remember.
had to go to work, and I somehow pulled it off, but half my
they
face
just,
looked like
they
Jay
just
Leno.
blocked everything.
Yeah.
on the opposite
Yeah, I was
side.
like,
He came in all
well,
swell. They just thought he was out drinking all night. You know, I was like, look at this guy.
Yeah,
He's
they
partying too
wrote
hard.
into the character has this list.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Shouldn't have
This
stayed
is
out
the
so
truth.
late last night.
Oh.
But that's why they don't let you do it. That
No,
turns out that
that's why they
production
don't
knows
let
what
you
they're
do it.
talking
So
about.
anyway, I got into trying to figure it out and work out, and I was always that's how I stumbled upon P90X because this was probably like 94, you know, and then I tried to have like I had like a pseudo trainer for like a minute, and that really didn't really work. And then he became like a friend of mine, and we would go together. But honestly, I worked out harder than him. True, and I was more consistent with it. And then I started just going by myself, and then. You know, but it was hard to keep motivated and keep inspired.
Oh, dude, it's
And then it really went
yeah.
to the next level when the P90X came out for me. I was always in good shape, but that got me like in a whole different level of shape, you know. And then that's been my goal since then is just to try to maintain that, which
Right.
I sort of
Right,
have.
right,
So it's
right.
been pretty cool.
And the only reason why it worked for you and you guys as well is just because it was entertaining to a certain extent.
It was
Yeah, it
brilliant.
was
I
very
I
entertaining.
was a goofy dude, and
Simple.
and it
too.
was 6 days a week, and everything was
Yep.
different, and we gave you the worksheets. I mean, it was, you had to just.
It was also
not
very
care if you
simple. It
couldn't
was
fit-
also
yeah,
simple,
yeah.
which I really appreciate. It was very
Well,
much.
it wasn't simple, but it
I
was
love
very
this.
easy.
I
easily digest- it was
still to this
digestible.
day do the
to-
stretch and
to
ab rep
comprehend.
still to this day.
I love you for that. Man.
What?
I love every day. I do your stretch, the same, the arms, the back, the little bit of
Circles,
yoga,
the pterodactyl.
circles,
Like a pterodactyl.
pterodactyl, the leg, the runner stretch, the
Yeah.
lunges,
Yeah.
the this on the floor. And then I get up and I'll always do some iteration, whether even if it's like 15 minutes of the routine, I'll do something.
And
Just
you think about it, how does something that is 20 years old is
crazy.
something? I mean, I was in Indianapolis at a film festival because I was in that little movie. And there was also
What's the movie
Pink,
called? Movie called
An Autumn Summer.
Autumn Summer.
Mm.
Hopefully, we'll get distribution and you'll see it soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
couldn't
there
figure
was,
out which season it wanted, so
Yeah,
just called itself Autumn
yeah,
Summer.
just called it. Yeah, they captured 2 seasons.
It was
together.
between spring, winter, and autumn, summer. We went with that one. We just thought it was a little more universal. Don't
well,
know.
the sequel could be spring.
yes,
Yeah.
spring, winter.
Spring, winter.
Yeah.
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 But I was there in Indy for the film festival. There was a Pink concert,
Mm.
and there was also a cover band for I forget whatever the band was. So thousands of people roaming the streets all at the same time in the center of town. And I got stopped more. This was a month ago. Hey man, still do P90X. Hey man, still do Aperberex.
Isn't that amazing?
Hey man, like some woman just, excuse my French, shit faced out of her mind. How come you're so corny in the workouts? My husband wants to say hello, but I just think you're corny. I'm like,
I've heard so
let
many
me meet
things.
your husband because I'm not really don't want to talk to you no more. You know?
I love that when people come up and just
Right
insult you to your
Yeah.
face.
I've gotten that.
corny in the work.
No, I've gotten that. I've gotten. Wow, you're a lot shorter in person.
I always
Yeah,
get
that's
that.
a good one.
Yeah.
Always
Wow.
get that.
Yeah.
I was at LAX and this couple, she was 6'2", he was 6'7", and I'm like looking at the Twin Towers.
Vikings.
And the first thing they say to me, not to me, they look at each other and go, "Oh, I thought he'd be taller." And I'm like, this is me down here, but thanks.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know I'm here, right?
Yeah.
You said that, but I'm here. So maybe just wait till I'm not here.
Yeah.
Say
Wait
that.
till we have a nice conversation.
Yeah.
I walk away, and then you could talk about
Isn't
that.
that? It's amazing. No,
Yeah.
people just they
Well,
don't.
people they
Yeah.
really it's really
they
strange.
separate you from like a person. Like they
They
separate.
do.
think
No,
it's
you're
like,
literally on a screen, like
Yeah.
as if you're still on a
Yeah.
screen, and when you're in front of them, and they'll talk about you as if you're not hearing. It's the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah.
But it
I've had
happens.
so many people say that
Happens
really
a lot.
weirdly, like, it's really interesting. You actually are better looking in person. And I was like, I mean, I
So
don't
all
look
that
good
lighting
on,
and makeup was
I don't,
crap.
I
Is
don't
that-
look good on camera. She's like, no, it's just that you don't look as good. You look better in person. I'm like, interesting. Glad I
Just
went
a
through the
little
works.
backhanded
Yeah,
compliment.
it is a very strange thing. I'm like, you don't need to say any of that. I don't need to hear any of that.
Well, by the way, in the workout that we did called Lawrence Power,
Lawrence Power.
Lawrence Power.
you guys were all lit really well, and I've seen some of it.
Really?
already, and
Yeah.
it's freaking gorgeous.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we were honored
Cool.
because, like I was saying, it kind of started as maybe like you wanting us to do something on your platform,
Yeah.
and then we realized like that we really can't do it without.
Well, we weren't
you.
really
Yeah.
qualified
Well,
in
wait,
any
no,
way, shape, or
That's it.
form.
That's
no,
it.
no.
That's the one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was going to give you three.
Yeah.
You three. So you guys each got three,
Yeah.
and then you'll lead three, Andy will lead
Right,
three, Matt
right.
lead three. And then we did that first rehearsal,
And
and
it
I
was-
was going through kind of what it takes.
You
and
were-
you guys had the triple deer in the headlight thing. Like,
Yeah.
And then Joey, you go, dude, would you mind just kind of running the whole show?
Yeah, let
We'll
us
be in the
just.
background.
Yeah.
And
We'll just
but
chum
it
up
was
the waters.
It was
but-
a brilliant idea, though.
Well, I'll tell you, it's really interesting because you are. I mean, this is your domain, right? You are the king of this domain. So for us to come into your domain and to be a part of it and to add a little value here and there where we can,
A lot
I
of
feel like
value.
that's really interesting. I feel like that's really interesting, and I think that people that are fans, obviously of yours, are going to really like this program because it's very different. And then people that are fans of ours will be able to tune in and watch us be sort of run around by you, the legend, which they're also fans of. And I think that relationship is
Tony
interesting.
was herding kittens in these workouts.
Oh, yeah,
we
that's
are
right. Oh, yeah.
Joe and Matt.
But when we
yeah,
did them,
it
we
is-
kicked ass. I mean, we
Oh,
did.
dude, I was
ass,
Yeah.
dying.
I mean,
and by the way, we shot 9 in 2 days, 3 days.
It was
3 days.
nuts.
I think it was
and
3
that
days.
last day,
Yeah, last
we
day.
had
Dude.
the last day, and I tried to sequence things so that we could survive
Oh my gosh.
the 3 days of shoot.
That
But
was-
somehow the leg day
Oh my gosh.
ended
dude.
up being the last thing on the
yeah,
last
man,
day.
It was brutal.
Oh man,
And,
man,
Brutal,
was rough.
brutal.
It
but we
was-
survived it.
we
Yeah.
survived it.
Survived it.
We
No.
thrived, and I really think people are going to really like these. They're going to be beneficial, and on top of that, I think they're going to enjoy them.
Yeah, they're gonna
Which
be
is
fun.
One of the
No.
things that you brought to P90X was joy. You brought
It's
a
true.
lot of
It's very
joy
true.
to the
It is
workout
fun.
space,
There's
and
a
I feel like we can do that here.
we have that in spades in this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys behind me, it was, I mean, because you're all very funny. You can all sing, you can all dance. You can, you've got this connection since you were infants.
Yeah.
And it all comes out on screen. And the thing for me is my fans are going to love it for sure. But I swear to God, as many folks who adore you guys, you're going to change because before your fans were enjoying you. They were being entertained by you.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're going to also be entertained, but they're going to be getting in shape. Maybe a lot of them for the first time.
I know.
That's so
Right?
cool.
So they're going to have the three of you who they adore, and also they're going to be jumping around and doing silly stuff.
It's
like
so
you guys did.
fantastic.
You're going to change thousands of lives.
Well,
so
honestly,
crazy.
you're
Man,
going to
you-
have that feeling that I get.
dude,
Wow.
you changed.
So when they stop
That's
you, they're
really
not going to talk
wild.
about your height. They're going to go, Joey, it was you on screen
Bro.
that made me. I used to be 40 pounds overweight.
So
That's
You're
incredible.
Horton, you've changed millions of
Millions.
lives.
Isn't that
Isn't that
Literally.
wild, man?
I mean, we were talking about this the other day.
Millions.
Somebody,
So
I just
what?
somebody sent me a message saying, "Big fan of yours. Keep up the hard work. Horton saved my life. I was in a car accident, broke my back, couldn't walk. They said, and then and now she through Horton's expertise and guidance, she's back on her feet. That's I mean,
amazing.
like,
It really
dude,
is cool.
we worked out with a guy who fell off a roof.
Yeah, fell off a roof, 3 stories into an alley, broke every
What?
bone except for every bone. His
Yeah.
face broke
Every
all his
bone.
fingers. Died twice, resuscitated twice.
Oh my
Last
goodness.
rites, ICU for months, scars everywhere.
Yeah,
and he came
dude.
to my house and did my Sunday workout about a year ago.
Really?
Bro,
Deadpool.
He
I
went
didn't-
up that
wait,
rope.
bro. I didn't know
Yeah.
this. I didn't know this.
Oh,
but
my
then he
goodness.
told us this at the end of it. We were like, "Wait, what?" And then he said, "Yeah." And the doc or the surgeon basically said, "You died. You would have been totally dead, but because you had muscle mass and I swear to God, and your body was conditioned by whatever you do physically, he did P90X.
He broke all his bones, but he didn't break his organs because there was all that musculature that kept the organ, his heart
Dude.
pumping and his lungs pumping and oxygen pumping.
Yeah.
And so
Isn't that
And
wild?
yeah, man,
and
trippy,
he
amazing.
he said that, and then when you looked at him, you're like, "Oh my God!" And he pulled up his shirt. He looked like a ragdoll. He had all these scars.
Wow.
His
That is
hands were all, but you wouldn't know
Yeah,
from
I mean,
working
some of
out.
his fingers weren't totally right yet.
Well, I'm
But
sure.
dude,
He blew out most of the bones in
Yeah.
his face, and
Someone was
And
my
Humpty
goodness.
Dumpty fell off that wall, man.
Yeah.
And they put him back
Wow.
together.
somebody was launched out of it was either off a bike or a car and like bounced across the road, and it was the same sort of thing. They survived because of their body was just that was
Yeah, I mean the musculature is pretty amazing. Like you're like there's super balls all over your body when
Right.
when you got that. I mean all three of you have that. You especially do.
Yeah.
You're super mesomorph guy. I mean you're a freak of nature. Yesterday's workouts, everybody I forget the push up. Everybody's doing like 15, 20, 30 reps. He just cranks out 50.
yeah.
I like if there was a bet, if you had $1,000 bet, he would have done 100. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
awesome.
yeah.
It wasn't like that though. Well,
Yeah,
when
humble
when
and
I first
stuff
went
over
there,
there.
I would do 15, 20, and I thought it was
course.
something good. And then I looked at Horton. He's like, "Yeah, we're a 30, 40 crowd." And I was like, "Oh no!" And everyone just did 30 to 40.
No,
So now I'm
yeah.
doing 50.
There you go.
I like it.
But that's after a while of showing
I'm doing
up.
50 and a 40. I'm waiting for somebody to pull me over.
What?
Andy, really, the jokes are terrible.
That's so terrible, Joe. Oh,
I'm here for the
boy.
dad jokes.
What a dad
Great joke. Great
Yeah.
joke. Love it.
40, waiting for them to pull me over. Oh, so terrible. We
Terrible.
gotta use that one. We gotta write that one down.
Tony Horton Police is here.
I know.
Wow,
But
that's funny.
we are thoroughly excited about this thing, and
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
hopefully people enjoyed as much as we enjoyed making it with you.
Oh, I think so. I mean, we've got a lot of different trainers on the platform, and a lot of people are really big fans of what we got already.
They're all great,
You guys
man.
are gonna
And this is
You guys are
going to live on. Tell everybody the platform it's going to live on.
powernationfitness.org
Okay.
or .com, but you can go to .org. But that's how it kind of started, and you go.
So it's a
in there.
government platform.
It's,
That's
yeah,
dot
yeah,
gov.
yeah. .gov.
No.
Yes.
No.
So it won't work at all. No one will ever be able to get onto the server.
There's when you get in the queue, it's only 3 or 4 hours to wait to sign up.
Sure, it'll crash several times. And
It's a platform based on inefficiency.
yes, we're going to invest billions to make sure that
happening.
no one can access it.
But yeah, you go in there and you can do a monthly or a year, whatever.
awesome.
The year is cheaper per
Obviously.
month if you look
Right.
at that. And,
Obviously.
and you just get in there and play. I mean, there's a lot of nutrition, obviously. There's
Yeah.
There's
That's cool.
a lot of seminars. I have a lot
cool.
of seminars on there to just kind of get your head straight.
It's a 360
Well, and there's
health fitness environment. That's for sure.
And
Correct,
for all ages, and depending on what you want to do, you have everybody. You have everything from animal flow and to
Animal
Ashley's
flow and yoga, and
dancing,
Pilates,
Which is not for
martial
animals,
arts,
by the
and,
way, just
I've got one called
clarify.
the Power of 4, and we've got one for gals called Power Sync 60, based on whether you're premenopausal, peri, or postmenopausal.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, because that's like a lot of women.
That's a real
they-
deal. No, it's a real deal,
They
man.
struggle with P90X because we got 40 times more testosterone than most
Yeah.
gals. I mean, it varies between different people, but we wanted to come up with something so women could get the results that they needed in a time frame that was reasonable.
Cool.
As opposed to a lot of gals. I'm in my 6th month of P90X and I'm finally seeing results. Partly because it's just harder for gals. The woman that we work with, Dr. Mindy Pells, who we did Power Sync 60 with,
Yeah.
she did P90X in the order that she needed to do it in based on her menstrual situation. And so, if it's chest and back day, she go, my body says no. So she did yoga. And so we created this thing that was kind of working better for women. But the one thing about your thing is because we had, like in P90X, I got a hard version and an easy version. We call it powering up, powering down.
Right.
And they can look at any one of you based on which one's the working the hardest or whoever is most entertaining in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Andy's really funny here. I want to do what he's doing.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Joey, the lighting on Joey here is spectacular. I want to follow him. Or Matt's biceps are so gorgeous. I want to look at him.
I'm going to be doing biceps all month.
And then you got your own. What I liked is you got kind of your own specific workout based on the way you train.
Right.
Which was one of the ones that we did called the Isolator.
That's right. That's
No,
right.
that's right.
This was really,
right.
really
I don't.
cool.
Yeah, I don't get caught up in the in sort of the grunting and growling and testosterone world because I feel like it's a losing battle for me. I never got off on the guys in the gym. It like going, how many of you guys? I just did 50 of these 58 pounds. I'm like, guys, what do you bench? I don't care.
Or then
As
there's
long as it looks
giant
good.
weights slamming on the
Yeah,
I
I
will
just
say
like,
when
one,
I was
two,
we would always go, dude.
gotta tape up. I was like, you guys
would-
are.
we
I
would-
can't.
when we
you
were
guys have
kids-
been injured more than you've actually worked out.
Joe, do you remember?
Because you refuse to use weight that actually is appropriate for your body
sure, they're
mass.
kipping and just throwing their weights up. But do you
Yeah.
remember when
Yeah.
we were kids? We would go because we traveled and worked a lot. We'd go to like hotel gyms all the time because we were.
I've done
we were
over
gypsies.
1,000.
And
No,
there
you
were the intimidators. You remember the intimidators?
Intimidators.
Yes.
Joe was it was
Yes.
really funny because you always have
Yes.
those certain guys that would walk in and they'd always be like flexing and puffing
Yeah.
out as much as they can when they're walking around.
I'm gonna go light today.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
use the 75s.
A lot of it, it's just all ego fitness.
Exactly.
Right? As a 66-year-old, sure, there's a little bit of ego involved. But
Well,
for me, it's quality of life and
woo.
longevity, and I
Yeah.
want to ski hard when I come down a mountain, and I want to compete with you and other youngsters. I'm
compete.
always the oldest guy in my workouts.
Bro, you're kicking
Right?
butt.
So
You're
you
setting the
guys are-
bar. You're not competing.
Not only did you
you're
keep up with
setting the
us, you
bar.
like, you set the pace for us.
It's
so
insane.
quite crazy.
I got to give Joey credit because I would say 7 out of the 9 workouts were outside of your comfort zone. a
Right,
little
right.
bit, right?
Yeah.
And you just sucked it up, man, because you knew the
were.
value of what this was going to provide for your fans
It's true.
and whoever else.
It's true.
And you
true.
you got after it. You got
Thanks,
after
man.
it anyway.
Thank you.
And by the way, your base fitness was good enough that you could handle all these things you'd never done before.
Right, right.
Which was really badass.
Right,
man.
right.
So-
Well, I do. I still to this day a lot of the jumping jacks into the high knee ups into the jump squats. I do
Burpees,
those.
you do all
I
that
do
stuff.
burpees several times a week. Just when I'm feeling it, like I'll get up and I'll do 3-4 sets of burpees and. In the morning or at night before I go to bed, just because I want to. And then, but really, the jumping jacks, I love the jumping jacks. It's so great for your metabolic health too. Great for your heart health. That pounding on your calves,
What
when all the
about-
blood pumps from
what
your
about the
calves up to
flu-
your up to your heart. It's so much more beneficial. The bounce,
Well, I
than
was
it
just
is
gonna
running
say-
on a treadmill, running on an elliptical.
What about the
Bouncing
the
is
fluids
imperative.
and the lymph? What is
Imperative.
that?
Lymphatic system.
Yeah, lymphatic system. I wonder if that.
It's so funny because everybody's always known that leaving the surface of the earth, whether it's jumping rope or doing jumping jacks, or if you want to go to the next level, you're doing some kind of plyometrics where you're jumping up on
Yeah.
platforms. Is that every time you leave the earth, even if it's only a quarter inch, you know what I mean? That movement it's ballistic in nature.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Which is good for your bones, good for your lymphatic
Yes,
system.
for
you know what I mean?
sure.
So valuable compared to just like
yeah.
slow pedaling on a bike.
Yeah.
People go into these like hotel gyms and they get on the bike. And
That was
they just-
me.
They pedal
We
and
were-
they're thinking,
that was-
I've been up here,
gosh.
and this
That
is
was
my
me,
favorite.
yeah.
They put this
Well,
up
not,
here,
you know.
and they do this,
No,
that's
well,
another
and they
no.
do this, and they're like this.
No,
And I come in,
yeah.
I'm like,
No, it's
I'm
true.
in there 30
Yeah,
minutes.
true.
I'm like, you guys, like, honestly, like, I just, it actually makes me sad that they're wasting their time because you could, like, they're on there for an hour and they think like they get off and they have maybe like one drop of sweat and they're going to go take a shower and then they're going to have a 3,000 calorie meal and they think they've done something. And you're like, guys, you're not being efficient with your time.
Yeah.
You're also, you're not being sufficient with your time. And a lot of those things
Yeah.
are leading to, obviously the food here and
Well, don't get me
everything is
wrong.
poison,
Look,
but
Something's better than nothing.
Yeah,
but-
I mean, I was
but,
going to say,
yeah.
any movement's good movement.
Yeah.
It's just that there's a whole lot of other movements that are better than others.
Sure.
Yes.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I
And
just
so-
like to see. Look, we don't have a lot of time in life. You have to make it part of your time. But if you have an hour, or you take that 40
Joe's
minutes,
30
maximize the
30
time.
minute-
30 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what I
You
was going
can-
to say.
I mean, P90X3 was 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
No.
It was almost like hit training. Not a whole lot of time in between moves.
Yeah.
Right.
Giddy up, let's
Dude,
go.
it works the best.
Less weight, more reps.
That's
It's
it.
wild.
You know what I
It
mean?
works so
And
well.
Love
Get the
that.
heart rate up.
Yeah.
Love
Get-
it.
You know,
Love
it's compound movements, head to toe, right? As opposed to like, Anyway, Bill, I was talking
Yeah.
to my pills the other day. You're
Yeah.
I remember I took a video of my sister and brother-in-law. They were doing burpees with med balls, right? And the next to him, there was a guy kneeling and doing one-arm wrist
Oh,
curls
boy.
on his phone.
Nice.
So my video, I was like, you could do this.
Nice, yeah.
You can do this.
Ease,
Yep.
right? So
You can get with this, so you can
get
get with
with
that.
that.
You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that.
Yeah, and here's the thing that I've always found too is that it's that when that eighth rep or something hits or that 10-minute mark hits when you're doing some sort of cardio that your brain is telling you to stop and your body's telling you to quit. It's that moment when you
My
when you
mind
push
is telling
on.
me no.
Oh, Joe, terrible reference.
Yeah.
You can't make R. Kelly references.
Oh,
Yeah,
you can-
Joe.
well, it's a song.
No.
Relax.
P. Diddy songs.
Skip over
I
that
definitely
one.
wouldn't
Let's
do P.
move
Diddy.
on.
That's-
Let's move on. Fast
Anyway,
forward.
it's that
I know.
moment.
Clip
Cut
that
it
one, too.
again.
I
It's
know,
that
you can't say
moment-
anything anymore.
It's that moment when your brain is and your body's telling you no, that
Wait, you just
you have to
Man, you
literally. I know,
did it. Ma.
but you have if you can push on in
Dude,
those
dude,
moments.
that is the magic
Right?
moment.
That is the magic moment.
Because a lot of people are like,
moment.
I'm too uncomfortable or it's too painful.
Yeah.
Obviously, form and function is
Dude.
priority one, right? Making sure that you're doing things safely, not kipping and jerking
Sure.
and twit like you're talking about before and what these guys are doing in the gym. What we've done on 2 days a week, like we'll have a cardio night, we'll have a plyo night. So cardio is heart rate, you know what I
Right.
mean? You're working your legs, but it's not big range of motion, whereas plyo up and down, all around, left, right, north, east, south, and west. But what we're doing is we're taking those routines that we've gotten pretty good at, we've cut them short a little bit, and then we go out on my street, we run up that hill. You know what I mean? So we start doing these acceleration drills where you're running pretty good, and then you hit the stop, whatever sign, or the car tire, or whatever it is, and then we pick up our speed. So we're doing these sprints, so we're doing these interval training, which is completely changing. I know, and this guy's a freaking little rocket ship.
Yeah.
I'm the old man. Trying to
No, you're out, dude. What are you
I'm
talking
doing okay.
about? You're out there running sprints.
I got hamstrings
Bro,
like dental floss.
Dude, it's out there. It's cold.
So it's
Very brittle. It's like an old wood. The back of these hammies.
No way, dude.
But I know him. Hey,
You're
man,
out there,
on the
man.
tortoise,
Towel.
right
Bro.
now on the tortoise.
Yeah, and you didn't. What? You didn't like 30. You crushed it.
When that hill took me 34 seconds the first time.
Yeah.
And then as I got better, I got down to 23 seconds.
I know. That's what we
These
do it
guys
at.
are doing it in 16,
No,
18 seconds.
Palatucci's really fast.
Who?
Palatucci, Brian.
One
He's,
of our
just,
buddies.
he's a gazelle.
Palatucci.
He's
Yeah.
a good Italian boy.
Yeah.
gonna
And then
say,
we got
Italian
Vace and Palatucci.
Vache, we got the Armenian, we
Yep.
got the Italian.
I like
we
it.
got the you're
Irish, English, and
English,
Italian.
Yeah. I am truly your brother.
You
Yeah.
are.
I know.
Pretty close.
I'm the English, Irish, Italian.
That's what we are. We're all English, Irish, Italian. That's what we are. Yeah.
Likewise.
Matt was busting my chops earlier about
yeah,
how I would, because I've always.
I mean, for years and years and years, I would come over here or come over to
Here
his
it
place.
comes. Get ready.
And he'd be on a Stairmaster or a treadmill for hours.
Yeah.
I mean, hours.
I know what it is.
And nothing
Just
would
can't get
ever
rid of it.
change.
Like, you're not doing
And I would
anything.
try to tell him, I'd be like, Andy,
Not true. I was doing a
you're
lot.
literally teaching your body
Yes.
to store
Every
every
morsel
little bit of
might be
fat that you ever put
something.
into your mouth.
It wasn't working.
That's not the way to do it. And he was like, I know what I'm doing. I used to have a different body type, Matt. I don't. One day at
Yeah.
Tony's, everything changed, and he listened.
Yeah, I mean, that routine that you used to do is kind of a supermodel routine.
Yeah.
But then you have to add salads and cigarettes to that.
I was smoking.
Right, where you're-
And I was eating salads and not eating at one point too. And then eventually, once I started to like eat and stop smoking cigarettes, it didn't work.
Look, man, you
That's
got
the thing.
You got to find
Dude,
your.
that's the thing. You're right. It didn't.
Cigarettes.
Well, no, it
Yeah,
didn't.
they really
it
do.
didn't work. Like so, it worked for years, but I was a teenager and I was extremely unhealthy. And we talked about this earlier, but like, the bar was set so high, not only keeping up with these guys, but in our house, like Stallone body type was the normal. That was like the and then in Hollywood,
Like basically, if you didn't look like
yeah,
that,
if you didn't look like,
you were a flub.
yeah,
Flub.
if you didn't,
I just saw a brilliant side by side of like leading men action stars in the 80s versus now. Oh my God.
well, I know,
Different.
It's yeah,
yeah.
good word. Schwarzenegger, Stallone, like Van Damme,
Yeah.
all these guys, right?
Yeah.
And now it's like Chalamet and
No, he's not an action star.
Yes, he is. He's in Dune. They had him up there. I'm
No,
telling you. Oh, yeah, buddy.
Chalamet.
I don't know.
Chalamet.
No, he's not.
yeah.
He's not in any way, shape, or form an action guy. He
Well-
didn't even do any action in
What are you
Dune.
talking about, Dune Dylan? He's action.
He was in
Just
Dune.
kidding.
He
Bob
was in
Dylan.
Dune.
Just
Dune
kidding.
was
And Dylan.
Yeah, Bob-
He's running around.
no.
Hey,
He's not an
hey.
action guy. I can't even put him in
He
there. He's
took
just
that
not.
record and threw it on the ground. It was scary.
Yeah, it's like Rolling
I don't like
Stones.
this song. I'm Bob Dylan.
How does it feel?
No.
It was more like Bob Dole in that scene. It was, but it was.
That's a
remember that? I'm Bob Dole. Bob Dole. Bob Dole. Remember the SNL? Oh my gosh!
I'm
it was
old
brilliant.
enough to know that reference.
I know.
Well,
some people out there don't
I love
know.
the Tupac
Didn't
song.
he point with his?
So if you
Oh,
listen
yeah.
to the lyrics,
Yeah.
the lyrics are so relevant.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
I know.
Bob Dole, you're too old. Now let's go.
I know.
Nobody.
But at any
That's
rate,
not
it is
Tupac,
amazing
that's
to
Eminem,
see.
but he
To
does.
Andy's point, the standard was really sort of legendary. Like you were talking about, like Greek statues
Yeah.
of men that you were trying to emulate. Whereas
That's
today,
me
it's
when I was
much different.
12 or 11. See the shirtless version of me at 11? And then that's
Doing all right.
and then over there, the black and white is when I was 18. I used to do some modeling, and that was an Abercrombie and Fitch thing.
I used to do some modeling.
When I was in my
Oh,
teens,
Lord.
yeah. So that's when I was
By the
smoking.
way, you look better now.
I think
by
so.
a
Oh,
lot.
yeah.
Well, I was smoking cigarettes and eating salads and
yeah.
not,
Excuse my French, but that's the bullshit version.
Yeah.
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 You know what I mean? Where you didn't know better.
Yeah.
But the thing is, life's a journey, right?
Dude.
When I first started out, I did push-ups and
Yeah.
I would jog.
Same.
That's the only two things I would do. And I would eat, chimichangas and Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
Right. I just
Yeah.
didn't know better.
I know.
But, you guys, it's a journey. But the problem is a lot of people who I see at the gym still, right, who are in their 50s and 60s doing this, attempting to do the same routines they used to do in high school. All right. And their bodies look like ass. And half the time you don't see them for a while because something broke.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're
You know?
always injured.
I got a lower back injury again. It's like, well, maybe the 80-pound dumbbells are not really
No,
your,
you shouldn't
your
be
cup of
doing that
tea right
anymore.
now.
Yeah.
No more flies with those. Never any flies with those. Never 80-pound fly
80
dumbbells.
pounds.
I saw a
Dude,
guy in the gym
I
doing
don't
once.
even do shoulder flies anymore.
Yeah,
I don't do them anymore.
These ones?
No, those are shoulder.
Yeah.
Chest flies.
Yeah.
Right there is where the injury is. Especially with dumbbells. Like
Got
I
it. I
don't do it.
I mean, I'll do it with. I have a tonal at home. I'll get the cables. I'll set it
That's
up
what I do.
in
Cables.
place,
Cables.
and I know exactly where I got to stop.
I do the cables.
Right here,
And
I'm
you
good.
keep it. You keep
there,
it.
I'm in trouble.
But that's
Right.
first of all, you're off the muscle anyway there, and you're
Yeah,
you're
you're in-
totally
you're in the ligaments.
hyperextending the tension in the
Wow.
ligament, the tendons and ligaments. Ridiculous. Chest is right here. Boom. That's the chest right there.
Right
That's
there.
it.
Yeah.
You're off it here. You're off it here. It's right here. So that's what you engage.
Yeah.
So you pop it in like this. So where it's actually tension, and you take it right through the motion. And when you're off it, that's when you stop. Before you're off, and you'll learn that. You'll learn that place.
I mean, to be honest,
so that so you're constantly.
do you remember that machine where
Yeah, there were two handles.
Yes,
and it would go and it
Grab
would
one,
loose?
like,
Yeah.
grab
Oh,
one,
yes.
like,
Oh,
get it
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Oh
Try
my
to get
gosh.
back. And get the other one, then you'd get 'em
God
out.
forbid
And
you
God,
can't.
you hope you had the right weight.
Oh
Right?
my goodness.
I know.
Yeah.
And I remember doing
Yeah.
that and going and hearing like ding, 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 and going like, oh boy. Now I was young, but I remember thinking like, oh, that almost just ripped
gonna
right
be
off the wherever it was attached.
This is
to.
not good.
Yeah.
No, no.
That one doesn't work anymore. I'm
No,
gonna have
it
to get
scared
that
me.
fixed. Yeah, terrible, terrible. But
Well,
it's,
yeah, and the hope is that, and look, getting back to your program because I want to promote it. Because you
yes,
guys are
Yes.
fabulous.
Lawrence Power.
Yeah, we just made sure that we created routines that were fun, that were
Yeah.
entertaining, but also weren't going to hurt you in the process. So
Yes.
you're going to burn a bunch of calories and,
Yeah.
and lose some weight and get
Yeah.
strong and go about your day not feeling like you broke something.
Dude.
That's right.
Yeah,
Make it
for
part
sure.
of
Well,
your day.
it's also, yeah.
I say that it's not something to fit in. It's almost like it really clicked for me when it was like it was on the schedule. It doesn't matter where you slot in your schedule of life. I mean, like
It does for me.
and-
I got to be honest.
well,
I'm the
but
type.
My point
if
is,
I don't get it in before I go and do my day, it's really hard for me to.
Yeah.
back
AM's
into
the best.
It is.
But if you can't do AM, figure out when you can.
Yeah.
that's my
You
point.
You know what I mean? Like with me, I only do it when I can get people at my house.
Got it.
Right, right. So on Mondays, I can't get nobody there in the morning. So who can show up at night? Good, that's when I'll do it.
Got
So
it.
I'm kind of a night morning. But ideally, like if I'm on vacation or I'm away, I get it done in the morning,
Right.
and it just stimulates the whole, makes the
Absolutely.
whole
It
day.
does.
Yeah, it does.
Because it's not only a physical thing; it's a mental and emotional thing.
100%.
So oxygen in, carbon dioxide out, right?
Yeah.
So you're getting all that blood flow. You're getting the hippocampus, the dentate gyrus, the all that stuff inside the center of your temporal lobe.
Yeah.
And then you can just solve problems. You can be more creative. You're more upbeat. You
I
know
was
what
working
mean?
out this
You can take
morning
on
at
your day.
at 6:50. I was working out this morning.
Damn.
Wow.
Yep, because I'm up. I usually get up about 6 every day, and I have my little bit of food and my nutrients, and then I go in there before I have to take my daughter to school. Normally, or I do it right when I get back.
Yeah.
So I'm usually
And
back
then it's
about,
out of the way and
I'm
it's
usually
done.
back by like 8:05, and then I bang it out, and by 9:15 I'm done. Yeah.
I mean, for me, today's workout, it's a Monday. It's a cardio thing. We're going to run up that hill a little bit.
Nice.
And I can't get anybody to show up in the morning. So
Yeah.
Andy and others, they show up at 5:30. We do it then, I mean, the goal is 22 days a month, 20 to 25 days a month.
Okay.
And then you just, like a lot of people who struggle with it because they don't have a purpose, a plan, and they have no way to be accountable. So when you get those three things figured out, then you're good to go. So for me, I know what I'm going to do and when I'm going to do it. And I know who's going to come over, and that's my accountability, right?
Gotcha.
So, and then a lot of people who are starting out, get your calendar, put a red pen on it, and start making X's. And if you got 15 X's, you screwed up because you got 15 days off. And like I've
Right.
said this a million times, I sound like a broken record, but you end up with exercise bipolar disorder because I feel good and I took 2 days off and I did it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like everything else that we do all the time, we got to do this all the time.
You do.
If you really want to be who you want to be and you want to feel how you want to feel and you want the latter half of your life to be as good or better than it was when you started. And that just requires Lawrence power.
Lawrence Power.
You only get in what you only get out what you put in. You really do. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be part of your schedule. Whichever part of your schedule works for you, it has to be on the schedule. It's not something you fit in.
Totally.
So no matter where it is, if it's kids, work, cooking dinner, shopping, markets, whatever that is, and I do all of that, so I'm aware of it. It has to be on there. Like you have to put it in.
Well, you said it best.
Don't
You were
make
like,
it so hard for yourself, because that's what I've found is that when you do go more than 2 or 3 days in a row,
It's brutal.
you're backtracking and you're starting 3 days before you started working out.
I've
So
also-
it's like it's just this yin yang of back and forth, and it never feels good. If you can stick with it, the endorphins kick in. You start to get addicted to it just like anything else, and you start to want to do it.
Tony said, "Do you eat every day?" He's like, "Do you breathe every
Yeah.
day? Then you should."
You go to work every day, do you pay your deals every day, all the time. Yeah. I was on Tasha's podcast.
Mm.
And same thing. It's like, well, really? I mean, it seems a little overwhelming. I go, well, you know, he goes, what about walking your dog? Fine. I mean, if getting on the elliptical is all you can friggin' do, and that's 1,000 times better than what you're doing, then get on the elliptical. But
Right.
don't think that the elliptical 3 months from now is going to be the thing you should be doing. You should got to advance.
Right.
You go from first grade to second to third to grad school if you want to. But a lot of people are still in first grade. You know what I mean? Doing the same old silly crap that they did, whatever, 5, 10, 15 years ago. I mean, you know, all you three guys have evolved. And
Yeah, you have to.
You have to evolve.
Dude,
And especially when it comes to the recovery and the mindfulness aspect of it. You look at, you know, how does LeBron, almost 40 years old, still do what he does?
Unbelievable.
Because he spends $1 million a year on all
Maintenance.
his maintenance and all his recovery. You know, he has the infrared sauna. He's got the cold plunges. He's got the massage. He's got the foam roller. He's got the Theragun. You know what I mean? You have to you have to do that as well. And as you get older, it takes longer for your body to heal.
Yeah.
You know, like for me, a lot of people get up in the morning, cup of coffee, second cup of coffee. What if you just, in your friggin' underwear, pulled out your yoga mat and did 10-minute sun salutation? Now you're using oxygen, right? And you're using you are the source as opposed to, this is tea, by the way. Oh,
Yeah.
No, don't worry about it.
lost my
I
coaster.
got another one for you.
And
Here, bring it back. This table's so
Got another brotherly love
Yes!
pod coaster.
I'm leaving here with a
Yeah,
couple
you can
of
take
these.
coaster.
And,
Right,
and
so-
it's completely false too. Caffeine is a completely
Oh, it's
it
the
actually
worst.
it makes you feel like you're having energy, but doesn't actually give you energy.
Yeah.
Just restricts things and makes your heart pump faster and harder. Right? It's not like
I mean, you know, the caffeine thing is one of those, it's always going to be in debate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I've
that
read
glass
articles
of wine
both
at
ways.
night's always going to be in debate.
It is.
I haven't had alcohol in 30 years, and I think it has something to do with the way I look and feel.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's empty calories and you know, whatever. Why do you drink? I don't know, but I remember why I used to drink
Yeah.
because I was insecure. I didn't like the way
Yeah.
my life was
That
going.
was
It was like- I
miserable.
was using it as a substitute to feel better.
Yeah.
Of course.
And I woke up the next day feeling like ass.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, okay, well then you better get your act together and find a source that is me as opposed to something else so that I can appear to be jovial and upbeat temporarily
Oh,
at
dude.
a party. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
No, you set the bar. Like you work out with all of us, and you're setting the numbers, and you're showing us how it's done.
Because I'm afraid. It's based in fear.
Fearless, bro.
Fear of
Maybe, but that fear
it all going south.
It drives you, bro. It makes you
Honest-
to a point of attacking, and you
Honestly,
conquer.
there is something to that, though. You know,
It's a healthy
I don't-
amount of
I
fear.
think it's honestly,
You know,
I think
you know,
so, yeah, I
if you're
agree.
running from something, there's a certain importance that you place on it. There's a certain necessity that it has. It's a survival mechanism in a way. If you're running from something, right? Something's chasing you, and if chasing you is age and breaking down, and that ultimate day of whenever we leave this planet, I feel like if you're running from it in a healthy, positive way, that's the kind of a very cool experience because you're
you're
will
not
be
giving
motivated-
into it.
You'll be motivated to outrun it as long as you can.
or not even outrunning.
and
but just- yeah.
that feeling is like not today.
Staying ahead of it.
Staying
There you
ahead
go.
of
You know,
the curve.
like you and I were saying earlier, you're 45.
Yeah.
So, I mean, about 40 and on,
Yeah.
the wheels start coming off. For a
Yeah,
lot of
they
people,
really do.
right?
They do.
And there's a lot of your audience that are much younger than that, right?
Yep.
So why not learn it younger? So
Yeah.
you can avoid
Get ahead of it.
having to go from first gear to sixth gear in your late 30s or
It's
early
hard to start
40s.
driving the car like a race car after 50,000 miles.
Yeah.
It's much
However-
easier to do that at the beginning.
I like that
However,
metaphor.
if,
Yeah.
even
Like
if
that.
you are in your late 30s, early 40s, or older, it's never too late to start. I mean, I
No.
don't know how. I can't believe I had like a torn rotator cuff and was 30 pounds heavier and thought I knew how to work out for years. And
You're
when
very
I
stubborn.
when I went there, I mean, I couldn't
Tried
like
to
I
tell him.
Anyway,
I got it. I'm a different body type.
it's like this guy's.
Yeah, it's not a good one. That's for sure. Your body type is not the good one. That's
What,
that's
see
the
what I have
different
to
one.
live with.
Put that thing up.
Yeah,
Put that beautiful.
yeah.
God,
Big
dude.
bicep.
Hello.
yeah.
It's not about that. Oh, yeah. There's
Could
your
feed a family of 4 and
Yeah,
man,
I
if
know.
it's a plane crash,
End of
I'm
the
going
world.
to you
Perfect.
first, pal.
Perfect. Perfect.
Live off you for a month.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
You
yeah,
guys got to
yeah.
catch
You'll
me
be all
first.
gristle.
I know.
All- too much
tough,
muscle.
Really
It's
tough.
tough meat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the old Andy. Oh, you could have
Yeah.
lived off that.
Oh,
Tender. That was a tender one.
Oh
The
yeah.
dark meat.
Cooked me like
Nice
a pig
and
in luau.
moist.
It was yummy.
like a seal.
Dude, so anyway, when I started, I couldn't hang with
The
one
big
arm.
turkey leg.
Oh, I got to finish. We're digressing. I couldn't hang with one arm. I couldn't really climb up a road. Couldn't do the ninja. All this stuff. Now it's like rock and roll, pegboards, whatever it is. I love it. Like it drives me, man.
Well,
How?
you know what?
How?
He has. Not to make it all about you, but I will for
Well,
a moment
okay.
here.
Don't stop.
There were a lot of things about who you were when I met you
Yeah.
that had so much potential in one or two categories as far as strength, but your flexibility, range of motion, grip strength,
Yeah.
forearm strength, that stuff, I'm like, I don't know if she's ever going to get there.
What?
No, I wasn't. No, I don't know. You know what I mean? Meaning because
You told me.
meaning because you were struggling in those areas.
The
right?
truth comes out.
Like
You're
they're-
cheering me on for months.
No,
you
no,
think
no,
I'm
no.
a schmuck?
No,
You can do it, Ed.
Wait,
You probably
let
will
me.
never get this.
They don't stop. They're like little jackals, right?
They don't-
So you have to. They bounce
me
around.
rephrase. I have
They
to
bounce around
rephrase.
like little hyenas and just let them go. They don't mean anything, dude. We're the lions. Just let them.
Oh, whatever,
I
Joe.
take
What are you
little
talking
nips,
about?
Little nips, and you just take one.
I could
claw.
take it though. I could.
Me too,
I
bro.
can take
One
it.
claw,
No.
you just swat them away.
What?
They'll go over to the.
What are you talking
the
about?
other side of the.
That was
pride.
hysterical. It was good.
What I want to
No,
say
I'm
is
just
there were
teasing.
areas.
I'm
There were
teasing.
areas of your. I know you are.
Yeah.
I love you, brother.
Yeah.
There were areas of fitness that were improving at rocket speed.
For sure.
Others were slower.
Yeah, really bad.
Right? And I thought, oh, you know what I mean? And so that's why I was always encouraging
Dude.
you. Range of motion on
Yeah.
your pull-ups, range of motion on your push-ups.
Yep.
Right? Everything
Oh,
you're doing,
bro.
everything kind of stocky
It's
and
night and
confined.
day.
Right?
Night and
Like
day.
the thought of you hanging by one arm.
Impossible.
By reaching for something with one arm.
Terrifying.
And that just took you longer, but you've arrived. Dude.
Yeah, I
You've
know.
arrived.
It's freaking awesome.
Awesome,
It's
dude.
so fun.
It really is rewarding. It really
It's
is
just,
rewarding.
I really do dream about going to your house and working out with you. It's weird.
You
It's
just
great.
dream
I
about
think those
you.
are called nightmares.
No, they're not. They were. I'd wake
Listen.
up in cold sweats, and then I'd sweat. I'm not kidding. The entire ride, my palms would start driving up your hill. And I don't know why. I'd put the windows down, the air on, my heart
Can
population.
I tell you something?
Now it's like,
I dictate what we do.
yeah.
I know, I know what's coming, and I wake up the same way.
Dude.
I go to bed like, oh God, tomorrow's gonna be. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do any of this stuff. I'm 66, for God's sakes. You know what I mean? And then I get there and I do whatever the first thing is, and I
So
get to
cool.
that point where you go 8th rep, 12th rep, and I go, I think I got a couple more in me. I think I got a couple more in me, and I surprise myself every Sunday. Now, am I going to surprise myself when I'm 86? I don't know. We'll see.
I think so.
We'll see.
I think
You
so.
might surprise yourself for being 86 at 86. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
Yeah.
win.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to surprise yourself at the way you did at 46 and 66, but if you can surprise yourself at 66 and still surprise yourself, like that's the win, dude.
I mean, you're
Well, at 66,
Bro.
there's a whole lot of things that I can do that I couldn't do at 56 and
Amazing.
46.
That's
and
amazing.
36
Isn't that
and
amazing?
46.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because I keep
Bro.
slowly pushing the envelope, adding the extra rep here, going online and kind of, doing a little bit of research on recovery and sleep
that's
So it's
time
one of the
and-
things that I prided myself on. I've never been injured ever. I've never had an injury where I can't work out.
Don't just-
No, no, I understand that. It's I'm very lucky, but but at the same time, I pay
Yes,
very
you
close
have.
attention.
Did you do
your
that?
form and your function is perfect.
Right.
It is.
I never
Right?
got
And
injured.
your
working out.
recovery stuff
There
is
you go.
good. You know what I mean? And you keep your stress down.
I was
a
even
little bit.
I tried,
Which-
but
yeah.
I was even able to work through a torn labrum from a diving
Yeah,
accident
yeah,
that
he's
I
talking
did,
about it.
and
Now
I
he's
didn't
talking
miss
about
any training time. I was able to literally work through it with acupuncture. Didn't need surgery.
true.
I didn't want surgery. I don't like
true.
being open up
This
if
is
I don't
true.
have to be. And I worked myself through it. I trained around it for like a year and a half through my acupuncture,
Yeah.
and it healed it. And it doesn't. I don't even feel. It doesn't bother me at all.
Where was this?
Torn labrum.
Remember when you
When I
dived
did
the
a
diving
diving
show? Splash or
Where's the
something.
labrum in the hip?
Labrum shoulder.
Shoulder.
Oh,
Well, you
yeah.
got you got one down here in your hip.
You do, but this was a shoulder. The problem is if you hit the water, I was like 27 feet up, and if you hit the water and you don't hit it the right way, it's like
yeah.
concrete.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know that.
And I knew
firsthand.
it popped the shoulder out. It tore the labrum instantly because I couldn't move the arm. Like it was more pain than I ever felt. And anyway, long journey. But even during that, which had nothing to do with working out, but I've never actually injured myself with weights in a gym, training, plyo, none of that. Never. Well, I'm really excited. I'm really thankful for that. But it also is a lot the way I do it.
Well,
I'm very
I've-
careful about it.
I've ripped the skin off of both of my hands.
Oh, yeah, I
at
have to.
Tony's house.
Dude, that day that you came,
dude.
and it was just like
Legendary.
all of it. You
All
just
of it.
lit them all up.
Oh, all four on
Yeah.
each hand, all the pads.
Yep.
Flappers.
Were flapped
Call them flap.
all off.
What did you do that on?
Ninja.
Ninja course.
You don't wear the gloves? No gloves, huh?
No gloves. So it was weird because I was
Even the second skin gloves, because I love those. They're like your hands. They're brilliant.
What are these?
Second skin gloves. Basically, they're like wide receiver gloves, but even thinner.
Really?
You have full mobility. There's nothing different about them.
I have a couple of boxes of gloves in the gym. I haven't bothered to tell you about them, but they're in there.
They're brilliant.
yeah, for that very reason.
But when I was roping, when I was roping and stuff,
Good to know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try those
I
next
mean,
time.
I have sort of an old school approach.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I used to have gloves and a weight belt, and I go, wait a minute,
No.
I got to toughen up this, and
Yeah.
I got to get my core.
Yeah, I've
stronger.
never worn a weight belt, but yeah,
Yeah,
I know a lot of guys do.
Yeah.
But I think it does weaken your core because all that all that help.
If you're lifting heavy, I mean,
yeah.
okay, I understand it, but
you want
I'm
to
a functional
stabilize
fitness guy. So
those small stabilizing muscles and tendons and ligaments. You want to strengthen.
they get
those.
left behind.
They
They
do.
do.
They
They
Yeah.
do. And then the great thing is you have this huge top. You take off your weight belt. It's like it's an 18 wheeler. As soon as the wind blows,
You know those little
fall over.
those little action figures that you would like press the bottom of
Yes.
and
They
they crumble
crumble.
with pressure?
Yes.
And then you
yeah,
put it back
exactly.
like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Exactly. Those things that blow outside of the convenience stores. You know.
No, those are good.
I'm in.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
have you-
all,
I
they
think
all,
it actually
they all
works.
wear weight belts. Though.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, they all.
Exactly,
Yeah. No, but
have you seen some of the science that's happening right now with age reversal? What they've done with mice in the lab?
they're saying in 5 years that we could live to 120.
They've reversed.
man.
Yeah.
They're reverse aging mice in the lab right now. It's pretty
It's wild.
wild stuff.
Wild stuff.
Yeah.
It is going to be Benjamin Button.
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be. I want to be Benjamin Button's kid brother.
Yeah.
That's,
I know, right?
Well,
that's
you're
my-
doing it
fun.
outside of a lab.
I know
you
you're
what
doing
mean?
it, yeah.
I'm doing a lot of
You're doing it in your own
doing a
lab.
lot of
But
things that people
Tony
who
Horton
aren't,
lab.
aren't all.
I gotta say it, full authenticity. Like it's so hard to find that in life, but especially in Hollywood. And I mean, and you really do. I mean, walk the walk, man, and you do it all naturally, and you're doing
You
things
live it.
at
you breathe it.
66 that are inspiring to me, and I can't do. And I'm 37 soon, so
I know.
and it's pretty sweet, bro. And thank you so much for opening up your home to me and every, you know, we and
Yeah,
and
you open up
and
your home. First of all, you open up your home to a lot of
Dude,
people.
it's just
incredible
bizarre.
how generous you are with your
Who does
time.
that? I mean, who the hell like just says come work out? And I meet I met like such wonderful, cool people over the last year that I cherish because as you get older, it's harder to make friends.
So
you
hard.
you don't.
Article after article of
Yeah.
older folks
Dude.
having the toughest time meeting new people.
You really
but every
don't.
time, like meeting you and the three of you guys,
Bro.
my world has opened up tremendously just because I know you guys.
That's
A,
awesome.
we made a
Likewise.
workout
Yeah.
How cool is
program
that? Yes.
together.
Lawrence
Yeah.
Power.
Lawrence
Power
Power.
out
Lawrence Power.
January 1st, 2025.
PowerNationFitness.org.
PowerNationFitness.org.
Like,
PowerNationFitness.org.
like Spencer's another new guy. Like,
Dude.
I went to some stretch lab and the kid was working. I'm like, hey, come to the workout. You know what I mean? People at the airport.
Spence.
Be nice.
He's a cool guy.
Is he?
Little Romo, as Chase would say.
Yeah. So, I mean, everybody who's at my pad.
Chase.
Who's Little Romo? Tony Romo? What
He
are you
looks
talking
like he
about?
looks like Tony Romo.
No, he doesn't.
yeah,
Really?
yeah, this new kid.
Oh,
we
he
didn't
looks
think
like
so.
No, I actually
Oh.
didn't think so, but Chase calls him Little Romo, so maybe it'll stick.
Our buddy
Wow.
Chase.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows?
All
I
right.
don't know if he likes that nickname very much.
I don't think he probably does. But Spencer's a good guy, by the way. He's a good guy and a sleeper. I hate when guys show up and can do things that it took me like
well, the
months.
the ninja that took him a year, Spencer did it on day third attempt.
Sucks, bro.
Yeah,
Really
yeah, yeah.
sucks. And then he does it twice.
But you smoke him on all the push moves.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? So that whole workout, P90X, is
everybody's
working
body-
on your weaknesses, working
Yeah.
on your
Everybody's
strengths.
body's
both.
different, though.
Yeah.
How all our bodies are put together so differently, right?
It's true.
Sometimes fast twitch is easier for some, slow twitch is easier for some.
It's true.
You don't know.
No.
But work on what's not easy for you too. That's the it's like you
And it's
said.
muscle memory too. You don't know if when he was a kid if his favorite thing was the monkey bars. When he
Right.
So he actually,
Right,
he
right,
talked
right,
about
right.
it. You know, it's funny you said that. He talked about
I
how
don't
his
know.
dad wouldn't let him lift weights in middle school, and he had a grip thing, and all he
Oh,
did
there you go.
from like middle school on was
you never
work on
know
his
the
grip.
grip strength.
Yeah.
So when he's on that ninja course,
Yeah.
He's just grabbing.
It's
on.
wild.
Yeah. No,
Now
you never know.
I drive in the car with those things, and I'm like,
And he's obsessed.
Yeah, I am, dude.
Manic.
I have them everywhere. I have one next to my bed. I have one in my car. I swear to God.
well, and you know Joey's right. You're Mez, dude.
Yeah.
Mesomorph. You're ectomorph.
Right.
You're both.
Mm.
From just where I'm, I mean, you train hard to get yourself. You could be ectomorph, like the difference is easily
yeah.
builds muscle
Yeah.
easily, naturally lean. I'm ectomorph too. My parents were like this, skinny little people,
Yeah.
and so it took me years and years and years to build muscle.
Yeah,
But
it
then the
does.
thing is, you can go to a bodybuilding gym, right? And they all kind of look the same. But when you when you learn their history, one guy was morbidly obese, the other one was a toothpick.
Yep.
And it's all the matter
Hard work.
how you train. So
Hard work
you
gets you there.
find your groove. Like a lot of people, a lot of people haven't tried enough different things to learn what kind of resonates with them. Right. So you do the stuff that resonates with you, like, I'm going to show up for that because I semi-enjoy it or because I know how important it is. And then you have to also, I believe, do the things that you're not a fan of, that it takes longer for you to get at. Like you got good in some areas and took your time with others. And when you do that, when you work on your range of motion, you work on your strength, and you work on your speed, and you work on your balance, and you work on your range of motion, and you do all those, and that's what I do. So, I mean, I guess I'm a bit of an anomaly that way because a lot of people are just yoga, just Pilates, just bodybuilding.
it
just
gets
something
easy
else.
and you get comfortable, and then you almost like get in the groove of that comfort. And obviously, there's no growth in comfort, and you challenge that, man. I mean, like there's a move called the hang, which is my nemesis because I can't. It just hanging.
It's about
for
the most
me.
boring single move. You
It
get
is.
on a bar and you hang.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I
And then
remember
there's
that.
somebody next to you with a stopwatch.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Right? And by the way, that hang strength, there's so much going on
it's
there.
awesome.
You know-
It's awesome. You don't think about that, but I suggest it to
How long do you hang
everybody.
for?
Well,
Well, it's called the 100-second hang.
yeah.
So it's a minute 40 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Not easy.
It's-
Most people are off the bar 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
You know what I
easy.
mean?
Especially after a day of just beating the crap out of your hands
Yeah.
too. That's the other thing too. We
Right.
do this at like it's at the
It's
end,
usually the last move.
and you're like, wait a minute, I've
After
done
3 hours.
3 hours
Wow.
of ninja and stuff. You're like, wow. But I got to a minute and 40 purely because of after weeks and weeks and weeks of Tony doing this thing where he's like, when you have nothing left, tell me, and then hold on for 10 more seconds.
Yeah.
And then you'll
Yeah.
count down, and then you started to count down, and maybe adding a few digits. And you're everybody. Yeah, I mean, like you
Oh,
know.
yeah.
But then I eventually got there.
I mean, it's
but
shoulder
you do it
mobility,
for-
lat mobility, forearm strength,
Yeah.
grip strength,
It's amazing.
and just using that breath work to be able to survive.
How
it.
long do you do it? You do it for well over
My
2
best
minutes.
is my. I know it's
Yes.
not a major, but it's a 2 minutes 45 seconds.
Yeah, which is almost
Jessie
impossible.
Graff, who's the American Ninja Warrior girl, she's up there for 7 minutes.
What?
Right? And then she'll just do this. She'll shake it out.
No,
You know what I mean? She'll grab
really?
a call.
I don't know.
what I mean?
Oh
Put the
my
phone-
goodness.
Go over here.
I-
grab-
that's-
grab-
You know,
shake that out.
There was a moment when I was a teenager where I had that ability. I could hang for forever. I used to
So
climb a
cool.
lot of trees. I was a climber.
I was a tree climber too.
Yeah, I was a major
Love that.
climber. So I remember the day, I mean it's not anymore, where I could hang on those monkey bars and take a one arm break and keep going. And I could probably stay up there, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes probably when I was a kid. I was
It's
younger.
amazing.
And you know, the lighter you are, the
Yeah, I
easier
was
it is.
super light.
You know what I mean?
Really light.
Yeah.
That's why. Well, that's
Which is
why.
why it's you
When
know,
I started, not only did I have no grip strength, I was a squash
You
apparently.
were all the weight was in your legs.
Yeah, and I would
too.
go there. Blah, I'd literally feel like people were putting
Well, dude,
concrete bags on
he
me.
couldn't hang. He couldn't.
Yeah, I couldn't do
straighten
it.
His arms.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
Right. His shoulders
Yeah.
were tight. His elbows were
Everything.
tight. So that's what's really great about it.
Wow.
It's
I mean,
wild.
there's a whole lot of ways to stretch out your lats and your shoulders, right? Like
But-
doing this, doing these, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Gravity,
this-
man.
Here now,
There's
I'm,
nothing
now
like
I'm
it.
working on isometric strength
yeah.
while I'm also stretching everything
It's
out.
I haven't
amazing.
done the time thing, but I get up there in the morning and I hang for probably, I don't know, maybe 25 or 30 seconds. But when I first get up there, it literally goes, everything just releases
Yeah.
and pops.
Yep.
It
Yeah.
feels so great. And I'm like,
Yeah.
And that's part of my stretch in the morning, you know?
Perfect.
That's
Yeah.
good.
It does.
Perfect.
It,
Yeah.
Good
it
idea.
releases so much. And then I can jump into whatever I do. I make up, I mean, I have to be creative, in my own little space there. But it's, I put together little routines every day for myself.
Dude,
so.
you're self-disciplined to go in there by
Unbelievable.
yourself at
Yeah.
that freaking
It's
hour.
unbelievable.
That's rock star level.
It really is.
It is really.
Like
It's
there's the people who
unbelievable.
did P90X, like this girl Kathy who I met at a shoot, whatever. This girl, she was 5'1". She weighed 210 pounds when she started.
Jeez.
She lost 100 pounds.
Oh, my
All right.
goodness.
Her husband's like, "Why are you doing this? Why do you
Oh
keep
my
wasting
gosh.
our money?" And you know what I mean? And then she was a legal secretary after the crack of dawn in the dark, down in her basement, cold, doing plyo, doing yoga, making her kid breakfast and her husband,
Yep.
and then getting on a bus and going to work. Like she
Unbelievable.
did that Power 90 3 times in a row, 3 months, that's 9 months. Like she couldn't start to do a push-up. Like think about that discipline by herself with her husband.
Wow.
Going, why? You know what I mean? And then she saw P90X. So she saw there were pull-ups. Couldn't do a pull-up to save her life. She did that 3 times. When I met her on the set, how many months later, there was this gymnast-like girl. Like I go, are you one of the models that they hired for the gig? Because they had models in the background too. She goes, no, I'm one of the ones who won the contest to be in your infomercial because I lost 100 pounds.
Oh,
6-pack
my
shredded.
goodness.
On the set, we had pull-up bar.
Wow.
She knocked out 12 of them.
No.
Wow.
Right? She couldn't do a single push-up on her knees the first time she did something.
But yeah, the
But
transformation,
she did
man.
it all by herself in the basement.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's incredible.
You know, I need my friends to come to my house and do it with me.
I get it.
You know what
But
I mean?
dude, what a group.
And on the road by myself, it's like mind games.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I don't work as hard.
I don't either,
I don't
though.
work as hard by myself.
I don't either.
So, dude,
Yeah, Joe somehow,
for you,
though,
man.
unwavering.
I've learned to do it by myself,
yeah.
Unwavering.
Well, you're disciplined kind of across the board and everything.
You are
Yeah, I am.
actually to a fault. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Yeah, sometimes. No, I definitely got to let go in certain areas.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do.
But,
You
uh,
have.
But
You have.
I have.
Yeah, you've come
Yeah.
lengths
But-
and
And
strides.
anybody who's kind of looking in and seeing our conversation, like, oh my God, it's all about fitness and exercise. I don't really do that. And I've never had the discipline. I've never really found something I liked. The one thing I can tell folks who are looking in is like, don't beat yourself up. Don't judge the journey.
That's right.
Come in and do it poorly. Do it horribly.
That's right.
Do the first 15 minutes of it. You know what I mean? Go for a walk to start.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Just
It's
go
like
for a walk.
100%.
movement is not about your ego and the aesthetic change that you hope for in a certain period of time.
Right.
What it's about is to open up your mind because of just the simple movement. It's getting that oxygen pumping in there. You're just going to have a better outlook on your life. For me,
100%.
and you know it as well, all you guys know,
Yeah.
it's about my mental and emotional
Oh my
shift that
gosh,
happens.
absolutely.
And here's the cool thing. The aesthetic part takes a long time, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, 10 months, a year. I don't know. But the mental and emotional shift happens that day.
It really
It
is a
does.
switch.
Happens the day you do
It's
it.
a
Yep.
switch, man.
It's kind of awesome.
is.
Driving away from your place and those
It is.
workouts, it's a high unlike anything.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Nothing could come close.
Yeah.
It's
Sex.
so rewarding. Sex is the only thing. So if that's on the table, I'm not coming. No, I'm kidding.
You know what's funny? No.
No.
I had a similar experience. The first time I went to work out at your house was one of them, and then also the first time I did like a
Had
really
sex.
intense
No, I'm just kidding.
yoga.
That didn't land.
I almost.
What, what'd you
That didn't
I'm
land?
pretending like I
He
didn't
said
hear.
that I had two experiences. The first time I came to your house, and then I said had sex. I'm just kidding. I was kidding.
I
Come
wonder
on.
who's the young one here at the
No.
table.
No, but
Matt's like, whatever.
yeah, stop. But I literally had that almost to the point of emotionally, like, joyously cry because of the feeling, the uplifting feeling that I had coming and the work, the endorphins that were released, and I'm sure the toxins that I was getting out because I was still smoking when I was,
I felt amazing too. I didn't cry, but
you know.
I can tell you this, my life presently is as complicated as it's ever been. There's a lot of stuff going on with work and projects and meetings and blah, blah, blah. And, I'm a Horton and we're stressful people. Just who we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just the DNA. It's the genetics.
We have
you know
it
what I
too.
mean?
we have it too.
I want to.
What is that?
I want to
Yeah.
punch stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Sometimes. And so, thank God for the mindfulness and the yoga and the breath work and everything else. It sort of brings me down. But without the exercise, there's no way I would be able to deal with any of this stuff.
No, the exercise is key.
And a lot of people who are watching it, they have lives like that.
They do. Well, that's most people's lives. You're
Yeah.
right. I mean, things are stressful. Life is stressful. Things are trying to manage everything. So you're trying to keep yourself afloat. You're trying to take care of your kids. You're trying to pay your bills. You feel like
Bingo.
you're getting behind every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Everybody feels that. I feel that every single day. I mean, there's things that are just overwhelming, too much, So faith and workout. That's it,
Right.
Yeah,
And
those
the
two things
bummer
are
is
very
that
strong.
far too many people are using their gob to solve their problems.
Mm-hmm.
Through pharmaceutical stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
through
yeah, no.
through drink, blah, blah,
No.
blah, like some kind of quick, short fix. But then there's just too much. It's
much.
gonna.
It does not.
part of
It does not work,
No.
and it does not work.
There's
no
no easy way
Well,
out.
it just doesn't. I've done it. I
There
love
isn't.
food. Don't get me wrong. And
There's
and-
no halfway there.
But
No.
the
You remember that song
discipline.
from Rocky.
Yeah, there you go.
There's no easy way
Well, there's
out.
not.
By the way,
There's not.
when you're watching the workouts, you're going to get a lot of that.
Yeah.
You're gonna get
There's a lot of
that.
Rocky- singing.
Rocky 4 when he went to Russia.
Oh yeah.
Remember that? He's training.
Oh my
So
gosh.
great,
yeah.
dude, with all the wood and all
And
the
then
foot-
the juxtaposition to
the
Lundgren,
synthetics.
who's
the
getting all the-
synthetics.
yeah, well,
and
the
he's
machine
all the
computers
computers
all
hooked up to him.
Right,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
yeah.
There's no shortcut home.
I actually do feel like it's like when I growing up and envisioning Rocky training and stuff. That's what it's like training at
Yeah.
your place.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
true.
I mean,
Andy.
a 30-foot rope.
You're
and,
right. It's
and max pull-ups. And
it's real.
coming
it is.
down in
It's-
with
it's
your
the
in an
meat
L.
shop.
Like,
Yeah.
Remember in the first Rocky,
Yeah.
Apollo had the pretty bags. Rocky was in the butcher shop pounding the meat.
I don't- yeah.
Pounding the
Yeah.
meat.
I don't-
chasing
yeah.
the chicken instead. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. Rope, beam, peg, pull
Yeah.
up. I mean,
No,
like,
that's
you know what I
true.
mean? Ring the bell,
Yeah.
ring the vache.
Bring the bache, baby.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this has been an amazing, another incredibly inspiring hour.
I
and
know.
Such.
Yeah.
Went by so fast.
You got to come back. We got to have just like.
Well, when the program comes
Yeah,
out.
Yeah, and
we'll
it's
do
a
it.
massive
and
success.
by the way, I will
guys are the
say
biggest thing in fitness.
biggest thing in fitness. It is about
biggest thing in fitness.
But it's about
gonna be us.
It's about the knowledge. It's about the opportunity. It's about the community. And I actually think that Lawrence Power, as well as Power Nation, offers not only the guidance but the
Yes.
community.
Yes.
I mean,
it
it
does.
does. Come hang out with us and have
As they
some fun.
say,
We're
knowledge
excited
is
about it.
power.
Yeah.
And
Well, there's a confluence of a
Lawrence
lot
Power.
of really
Yeah.
positive things happening where this program will be exposed to a lot more people, not
Yes.
only your fans, but I'm working on a couple projects where we can bring in more affiliates or customers or whatever.
Love
Cool.
it.
So, and I really do, look, I really think based on what we did together, the four of us, that this thing's going to kind of rise to the top, right?
Cool.
Just because it works and
Yeah.
because it's entertaining as hell.
I'm excited about that.
And you already have a built-in fan base, and there's a lot of people who are looking in who are maybe not in shape, but I think because of what we created, they're going to get in the best shape of their life for the first time.
Yes.
I really,
That's,
really
that's
awesome.
the goal. man.
I think there's
That'd be
been.
awesome.
I think because of. I think one of the good things about social media and everything. I can end with this, but is that there is one of the good things. There's a major awareness going on in our country in particular of how sick we are. You know, as a country, like food wise,
Yeah.
all the additives, even the little things like when you look at Quaker Oats in England and there's 3 things, and you look at our Quaker Oats and there's 12 things.
You have
I'm
to-
saying
you have to
the
put in a
fries
lot of
in Europe
effort.
have 3 things. There's 17 additives.
You
in
gotta
our
put
fries.
in
And you
a
look at a
lot
lot
of
of what's
effort.
going on. We're not well. We're not healthy. What are we doing wrong? And we're starting to look at all these things, right? And we're really starting to take a step back and go, wait a minute, we can do a lot better.
Well,
and I feel like this
because
goes hand in hand with that. And that's
Absolutely,
what's exciting.
because I think maybe for the first time, people are now looking at a side eye with the money making machine
Yes.
that our health has
Right.
been in the past 40 years when
Right.
it comes to our food and our medicines.
Right.
And yes,
Well, money is in the treating,
Take a
not in the
look-
curing, right? I mean, that's what
I always
they
say
say it
this.
always
I always
is.
say this, and this is why I respect you so much. Is who are you gonna take health advice from?
That's right.
Somebody who lives and breathes it, or somebody who talks it but doesn't walk?
It.
That's it.
Too many people are bamboozled going after sources that give you, kind of
Fuzzy.
baloney answers. and
Fuzzy
solutions.
math, as they say.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it requires work. P90X was 6 days
Yes.
a week and eating right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people went, no. A minute group did, and they changed their lives forever, and they're still living that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're going to get that with Lawrence Power, and they're going
Absolutely.
Yes, they are.
So, like, if
You're going to
sit-
get
if
it with
you're
Lawrence
sitting around-
Power
if you're
coming at
sitting around
you.
waiting for the government to make some kind of change so that it trickles down to Fruit Loops, you're going to be waiting a long time.
Yeah, you got to
It's
do it. It comes
self-reliance.
down to the
It's
individual.
self-reliance. Look,
Yep.
Bingo.
The great thing about it is
That's it.
you got one person that can change
And you can do
that's
it.
you.
And
you
You
can do
have
it.
that
Anybody
choice.
can do it.
You can do
You
it.
can do it. People have done it. People continue to do it. You inspire millions.
And if you need some help,
you really are.
And you want to do
yeah.
it, check out Lawrence Power.
Yeah.
And if they have self-discipline like you, right on. But if they don't, they got all of us.
They got
There you
us.
go.
Find your community.
We'll
and
walk you
you're good
through
to
these
go.
workouts, guys. They're launching January 1st, 2025.
The legend,
We're super
Tony
excited.
Horton. Thank
Thanks
you
so much.
so
We
much,
love you, man.
man.
Yeah,
we
buddy.
love you, bro.
Really, man. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you for joining us on the Brotherly Love Pod, and we will see you
Next
Next
week.
week.
God bless everybody.
Woo!
Have a great weekend.
Thank you, boys.
Mwah.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
The Lawrence brothers are here.
Thank you so much for enjoying this week's episode of the Brotherly Love Pod.
And if you want more of this show, check out our premium feed on Supercast.
That's right, where you'll see ad-free episodes, monthly AMAs, behind-the-scene content, and so much more.
That's brotherlylove.supercast.com to join.
Check out our link tree and subscribe on all platforms. We'll see you all next week.